And we're live. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Nikki Smokes. You are listening to The Smoke Show. I got a special guest in the back room, man. You either like him, love him, or you hate him. I just gave you three options. I really should only give you two. You either love him or you hate him. But he's in the back room. He's ready to go. We're ready to talk training camp. We're ready to talk offense, Tua, defense, McDaniel. Football's back, baby. Football is back. I couldn't be any more fired up, and I know my man right here couldn't be any more fired up. You either love him or you hate him. There's no in between. The one and only Professor Jeremy Klump. How are we doing today?
Dude, I don't think anyone hates me on Dolphins Twitter. You think? God, no way.
I don't know.
I don't know,
I think
man.
it's mixed emotions.
I'm kidding. I'm sure there's a lot of people that hate me. So I did actually hear there was some talk about me at training camp today with my orange jersey tweet. So that pissed some people off.
Really?
Yeah, it is what it is. But I love all of you if that makes it better. You may hate me, but I do love you. So
I have a question. So you said you know your name might have came up with the orange jersey topic, and what do you think about this? Do you think this is kind of a subtweet at you? In my opinion, it might be. I'm gonna play the clip.
Well, I don't know any of those guys, so I mean, if that's what they have to say, then good for them. That's probably a good thing for them to say. They draw people for clickbait, or I don't know.
Clickbait.
Yeah,
Clickbait
come on.
Klump.
I think we all know that. Yeah, come on. I mean, I don't think that's even his words. That's from someone else who says that all the time in every chance he has. That Klump's just doing it for clicks, which is funny because I literally have no jobs where I get paid for clicks. I have all salaried jobs. So thank you for that. But definitely could be about me, could not be. I don't know many other people who got called clickbait Klump, but maybe you're talking about Juan, third and Juan, that guy.
Third and Juan.
Yeah.
Clickbait Juan.
Yeah.
Could be him. Could be him.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know where he'd get that from someone. I don't know who would be in his ear telling him that I say things about.
Well, it comes from his circle.
I don't know anyone in his circle. I don't know who.
Yeah, that's true. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You're blocked. You're blocked.
Yeah, I am blocked now.
You
don't
know
tweets about me all the time.
Yeah. You're blocked. You're gone.
Well, if Tua performs this year, I don't think it'll be an issue. So
that's it, bro. The greatest thing that could happen for this team is for Tua to be a franchise quarterback. And I know you. I really do believe that if Tua lights it up, you will happily receive all the shit that will be thrown at you.
It'd be awesome. Why would that not be the greatest thing ever? One, I love I can take it. I think it's hilarious. You know that. I think that shit is so funny. So if the Dolphins blow up this year and everyone comes at me, it'll be fun. Are you kidding me? It'll make social media more fun, honestly.
I agree. Well, before we get into training camp and the offense and the defense, you're a media guy. You've been in the media game forever. I'm like a new puppy. Sometimes I'll come up here and I'll stumble on a couple words here and there. But every time I listen to Mike McDaniel speak, I'm almost getting agitated. Now, if we go out there and we start winning 11, 12, 13 games, he could go up there and start speaking Mandarin. I don't care what he sounds like, but until I see it, it kind of irks me a little bit, bro. It's like he wants to say one thing and then he's like, and then he changes his answer. And I feel like you get that same thing from Tua as well, where they're not very direct. They're not honest. It almost feels like they're still hiding something from us. Do you think that's the case with Mike McDaniel?
No, I think he's just kind of nervous, honestly. I think his first initial press conference, even his voice was a little shaky at first. I was like, oh, damn, He's pretty nervous. I just think he's still nervous. He's not really warmed up to it. The get frustrating. I definitely know that. I'll say this is a little shout out for Sorty. If you listen to Andrew Schultz's podcast, I don't know if anyone ever has. His podcast, I love it. But he does this thing where he goes, and if I told you it, next time if you listen to it and you pick up on it, and someone pointed out to me that Mike McDaniel says all the time, and now every time I hear him, he's like, and I'm like, oh God, stop saying it's driving me crazy. But I think he's a little nervous and he just overthinks things. I don't think he's hiding anything. I think if anything, he's pretty upfront with things, and I think even some of the things that you don't believe, it's pretty upfront how he's saying them. His belief in Tua and stuff, it's like pretty obvious.
Whoa, what's up with the air quotes?
Well, I mean, I think he has.
You think he doesn't believe
Oh,
in Tua?
100% no. There's no possible way he 100% believes in Tua like he says. He's full shit. And I mean, if you truly believe in Tua like that, you're full of shit too. I mean, it makes no sense to me. You have to obviously have some concern, but I think he's just being a good coach, dude. I think he realizes there's a lot of people that, I mean, Tua said it today on NFL Network that the locker room is so different. It's like about building relationships and stuff. And I think Mike McDaniel's trying to be that guy that builds the relationships in there and has fun. Will it work? I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty unique thing in the NFL. Like, I'm all about, the players having fun and it being a different environment, but like we've seen the way teams win Super Bowls, and like being buddy is fun and all, but if it doesn't equate to wins, like who cares? I could give a shit less if Tua and Tyreek Hill are having barbecues on the weekend. If they're not winning games, that just pisses me off. Like,
right.
So I think it all matters about winning, man. I think if Mike McDaniel can get wins, no one's going to care about how many. Like you said, he could speak Mandarin for all we care. So it's all about the wins.
That's why I was so caught off when we did fire Flores. Now, obviously, things have came out, and it turns out, maybe he wasn't the best coach for this organization. But when we had back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in Lord knows how long, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are we getting rid of this man? And it's because he failed to build relationships. And then it's like when you hear Mike McDaniel speak, he's always talking about relationships. He was on the radio today on the Joe Rose show, and he was talking about relationships and building a relationship with Tua and the other guys in the locker room as well. So I think that's a really, really big thing for Mike McDaniel. And I do believe that'll translate onto the field. But if it doesn't, then you have like this whole buddy vibe where everyone's on their good vibes only. And then when the vibes go to shit, how's everyone going to react to that? Are they still going to listen to what Mike McDaniel has to say? And I don't want to beat a drum here or, say, no, I don't like Mike McDaniel, because I do. But God forbid it doesn't work out. Like, do you think this thing's just going to fall flat on its face, or is this team going to be able to face some adversity like they did last year when they started 1-7, and instead of quitting, they finished the season 9-8?
Yeah, I definitely think one thing I've said before, I might even said on this show, I'm worried about what's going to happen when someone needs to rip someone. Like, who's going to be the bad cop for the Dolphins? Is Mike McDaniel going to have Tua walk off the sideline and rip him when he does something wrong? Or is he going to be like, hey, it's okay, buddy. Like, we're still friends. We'll have that barbecue this weekend. Like, someone at some point needs to take control. And I'm worried that if no one does take control, like you said, it could turn into a circus, man. Like, I love Tyreek Hill. I think he's been a great teammate, obviously talking up Tua a lot and for his podcast for clicks and stuff. But I'm just worried. What happens if he's the guy that starts yelling at Tua? Like, I know Tua's all about people being nice to him. Everyone said Brian Flores was so mean to him. What if Tyreek's like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, play better. Is he going to be like, oh, I thought you were my friend? Like, it's not about being friends when you got to win games. It really isn't. Like, having the relationship's great, but I think like a healthier relationship is when it's not just all like kumbaya and everything's happy. I think a healthy relationship's when you can look at your friend and be like, dude, you're messing up right now. And I don't know if the Dolphins have that right now. I think it's too buddy. I just think it's, we're all so happy together. We're having fun. And like, I just hope by the end of training camp, we can look at it and be like, finally, Mike McDaniel found his voice. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator. I don't know. I need someone that's going to be able to step up and like take control. And right now there's no one. So I am a little worried, because if they start off really bad, who's going to be the guy that leads and stands up? Maybe it's Armstead because he's not out there right now, but I'm worried about it. I think it's an interesting tactic. I think a lot of teams don't do what they're doing. I don't think many teams do ever what they're doing. So it's an interesting tactic. We'll see how it works. When the bullets are flying, we'll see if the nice words help. So
the new age Dolphins, baby. We're leading the way. We're lighting the lamp to the new age of professional football. All right, so yesterday was the first day where reporters on the ground were sending out tweets, getting us fired up, telling us about big plays, this and that. We saw the videos, we saw the clips. So here's one tweet, and now this is gonna be the same play. So this is from David Furones. If I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. So At day 2 of Dolphins training camp on Thursday, Tua Tagovailoa connected with Tyreek Hill in 11-on-11, but it was wobbly, underthrown pass for roughly 45 air yards that Hill had to come back and get. Next tweet. Same play, different reporter, Travis Wingfield. The big play of the day was a 40-yard connection from Tua to Tyreek. The coverage did a good job staying on top, and the ball settled Tyreek between the two defenders, and he squeezed a tough contested catch going to the ground. Same play, two completely different stories. Which one do you think is more accurate?
I mean, I know which one's more accurate, and it's David's, obviously. I think some people will attack me for this. Everyone attacks everyone for this. I think Travis Wingfield is extremely talented. I think he's a great person. I mean, he's a dad. He's a husband. This is no disrespect to him, but he's a team employee, and I think a lot of people lose that. He's not going to go out there and say Tua underthrew the ball, and then everyone's going to trash Tua because he underthrew the ball. Like today, for example, Tua threw an interception. I don't know if you saw his tweet. He perfectly changed the narrative of the interception that, Jevon Holland is so great. I don't know. Literally,
he's a dog, though. Javon's a dog. Jevon Holland's a dog.
100%, dude. I
think he's going to be the leader of this team.
I was told today he's going to be an all-pro. Like, that's how good he is. His energy is infectious. The way he flies around the field, people love him. He's so smart. So, yeah, he's a dog. But what he did was he played on that for Dolphins fans' heartstrings. He said, Jevon Holland's been taking away the deep ball. He's so great. And then you're like, oh, who cares that Tua threw an interception? Holland's just so great. But then you think he doesn't go against Holland every play either. Like, they summed it up perfectly where Travis is very good at making it pro Tua, pro Dolphins. And that's his job. There's nothing wrong with that. But people can't act like, oh, Travis knows what he's talking about. It's so right. Like, yeah, Travis knows what he's talking about, but he knows damn well that he is changing the narrative of how he's saying it to make it pro Dolphins. Like, the reporters there, I think the best is Alan from Sports Illustrated. He's literally the best out there, in my opinion. He's a straight shooter. Like, if there's one guy that I love reading his reports, he'll tell you how it is. Like, Tua had a great day, he'll say he had a great day. If he had a bad day, he'll say I have a bad day. And I think a lot of reporters, especially in this market right now, are very afraid to be treated like me or to be like the villain like me by just telling the truth. Like Marcel.
You see it with Omar all the time.
Oh,
if Omar goes out there and he says Tua looks like shit, he gets dragged. Everyone's telling him.
Has Omar really commented on Tua too? Have you noticed that? Not really. And I think that's very concerning because Omar knows he'll get dragged. But like Marcel, where's the ESPN? I mean, he is pro Tua as can be. Oh, Tua was sharp today. Every other reporter's like, Tua was terrible in 11-on-11 today. And it's like they pick and choose. Tua was sharp that day in 7-on-7, which, I mean, come on, he better be sharp in 7-on-7. But in 11-on-11, he was terrible. So, like, they pick and choose. A lot of people are scared of the fans. They don't want to be put on Cuck Mountain, which, I own Cuck Mountain. I actually have the deed for it in my office desk right here. It's my mountain. So, yeah, I think it was crazy. That tweet that you shared, I actually have two other ones. I would have to look them up, but there's 4 different reporters, 4 different takes on the same play. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. So bad. So bad.
Yeah. No, it's wild. It really is. And then another thing that came out is that Tua was kind of struggling throwing the ball in windy conditions. And it's only summertime in Florida. Like, this is not December in Buffalo or in Tennessee or in New England or in New York. Is that concerning you? Is his arm strength concerning you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, well, what concerns me more is that Mike McDaniel made him throw in the wind. That's very mean of him to make Tua throw in the wind. He should never make your quarterback throw in the wind. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, we heard all offseason, man. Rocket arm, velocity. I don't remember who was saying that. Some guy out there. Rocket arm, velocity, 20 extra yards, he said, right? From what I've heard, that is an absolute joke. I mean, his arm is still the same. He just doesn't have the ability to drive those big time throws. Yes, he might be able to throw the ball a little farther, but the problem is when Tua, even that clip they shared today, if you notice how long the ball hangs in the air, Tua has to arc everything. He cannot drive the ball. He just can't do it. And that's why the wind
in his defense, though, because Russell Wilson, he throws one of the best deep balls in the world, and it's like those little moon shots
Those are
that
like
just
those
drop in the bucket. Like
those
those
big
balls are
bombs.
beautiful.
Yeah, big bombs. But I'm talking like
Big bombs.
those like 10-yard outs, those NFL throws that you need to drive the ball. Tua just doesn't have the ability to drive them like other players. That interception that should have happened by Brandon Jones. I think he makes the right reads. It's just sometimes I was talking with Vincent about this today. What makes Patrick Mahomes really special is sometimes he can make the wrong play right because his arm is so talented. He might not make the right read, but his arm is so talented that that ball's getting fit in there. It's going to do that. The problem with Tua is he doesn't have the arm to make the wrong read right. Like he needs to make the right read. And if he doesn't, he's in trouble. He just doesn't have the velocity. He doesn't have the arm strength. I know there was so many videos of him all off season throwing medicine balls and doing bicep curls and having fun, but it just is what it is. He is who he is. We need to stop pretending that he's going to have a rocket arm. He didn't just magically get a rocket arm this offseason. He just doesn't have one. He doesn't. And that's why a lot of people argue he needs to like get the brains for it, you know, because if he could post-snap, pre-snap, post-snap, and he's quick with his thinking, it won't matter. That's why someone like Drew Brees, everyone says, oh, Tua is the next Drew Brees. Drew Brees had the best mind out there, man. This guy knew where he was going with the ball 24/7. And I still think that's an issue with Tua is he needs to learn. He just needs to get the game down better. And I'm worried. So his arm strength, it's not even a concern to me anymore because it just is what it is. Like we need to stop pretending that Tua is magically going to have a big arm. He's just never gonna. He doesn't.
I don't think you need a big arm to win in the NFL. I think it helps a lot. But you look at a guy like Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, they're just able to make throws that other human beings simply cannot make. And I think it's an advantage in certain situations, but the position of quarterback itself, it's so meticulous. Like you have to be so detail oriented. You look what happened with the Cardinals. I mean, say what you want. They didn't just put that homework thing in there like out of the blue sky. Like no one does that if they know, yo, this guy's putting in the film hours. They don't do that to Tom Brady.
Did you see the graph?
Yeah, I did. The Call of Duty thing.
Dude, that's crazy. But yeah, keep going. Sorry, I had to add that in there. That is wild.
You're good. But that's my thing with Tua. So I never like my whole offseason thing with him was I don't need you to throw the ball an extra 20 yards. I just need you to be better pre-snap, post-snap. That's why Drew Brees was so great.
Yep.
He was able to get the ball out of his hands. I mean, Drew Brees didn't have a rocket, but he knew, okay, like I know what the safety's doing here, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get the ball out, and it's going to be a 45, 50-yard touchdown. Just because based off anticipation, everyone wants to talk about what Tua's best at is his anticipation and his accuracy. But I haven't seen that anticipation on display yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think a big problem too was the whole RPO offense. I think really kind of hurts him.
Atrocious.
A lot of people said that it was so good for him. That's his best thing, which I always find funny because last year the offense was tailored for Tua, and then the offense was horrible, even though it was tailored for Tua.
Right.
But that's a whole nother discussion. I think the RPOs hurt him in that sense where he's just making one quick read, you know? He's reading that linebacker. The linebacker comes down. He's throwing it. If he sits back, he's handing the ball off. And I think that's a huge issue too, where, again, I've said this. I think the people around him don't push him to be as good as he could be. It's like they spent all offseason filming cool videos and stuff. It's like Tua admitted in a press conference he never rewatched all his throws from last year. And that to me is like a huge red flag. You need to learn. You need to see what happened here when we checked out of this. What did the defense do? What was the defensive coordinator thinking? I mean, they're going to play the Bills again. They're going to play the Pats again. I mean, I know the Jets suck, but Tua threw a pick six. I mean, like, come on. Like, he should be
almost lost.
He should be rewatching these games and thinking like, okay, so when we wanted this concept here, we wanted a smash concept. They knew it was coming. How'd they play it? He's not doing stuff like that. And that's what concerns me, that Mike McDaniel had to show him those clips. Mike McDaniel had to get him to watch the film. And I know people are going to be like, oh, it's the off season. Let him go play. You know, these are NFL players, man. They're not normal guys like you and I. Like when we would have a day off, we don't have to go into work because we're not making $20 million with a whole franchise and fan base behind us. Like it is different. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, they're humans too, but they're a way different human than we are. Like there's too much pressure. There's too many other people counting on him too. That's what else drives me crazy. Like
let me touch in on that. The word pressure, and what you said. Millions of people supporting this one kid. You're the face of the franchise. This team hasn't won a playoff game in 20 years. You got drafted. You said you wanted to change the culture. How are you changing the culture?
Yep.
And then the only thing I don't like is don't tell me that there's no pressure. You know there's pressure. You say you're hard on yourself. You're putting pressure on yourself. When you're hard on yourself, you're creating pressure within. And now you might say there's no additional pressure being added because of Tyreek and all the weapons that he now has with a new head coach. But when they ask you, do you feel any pressure? Don't just sit here and tell me that you don't feel any pressure when you know this is probably your last year. Because Tyreek just said on his podcast that this is probably to his last year if he doesn't ball out. So I just maybe I want a little more transparency, and he doesn't owe that to me. But just don't act like there's no pressure being the franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins when they haven't won a playoff game in 20 years, and they have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Mike McDaniel, the best offensive line that you had, and a solid-ass defense. Don't tell me that there's no pressure.
Yep. It's crazy. It is crazy that Tyreek Hill said that it could be to his last year, but he also
I couldn't believe he said
the most
that.
accurate quarterback in the NFL.
I could not believe he said that.
I mean, if he's the most accurate quarterback, how could this be his last year? They should keep building around him. It's kind of crazy to me.
I agree. I think the best thing for the Dolphins is for Tua to be great. But if not, and this is what I said, God forbid Tua stinks. I want him to be the greatest quarterback of all time this year. I do. But if he doesn't, I think the Dolphins are built to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, enough with Tua. Let's talk about the defense because they have been dominating. And Jevon Holland, oh my gosh. We got a dog, bro. He is so good. He should have been a Pro Bowler last year. I mean, you just watch him play. He's all over the place, whether he's blitzing, tackling running backs when they get to the second level. He's great in pass coverage, bro. There's nothing that this man can't do, and he's hilarious. He's hilarious. I love him. He's by far my favorite player on this team. He reminds me of what Jarvis Landry was, but on defense. Physical, always smiling, big personality, always making big plays, and he's always on the field. By far my favorite player on the team right now, and I think he's going to end up being the leader of this defense.
Super smart, too. I think that's the big thing. You know, he's that captain of the defense back there. He's super smart. Yeah, I'm pumped about the defense, too. If I had to pick one other player that I'm super excited about, you know where I'm going with this. Like, Jalen Phillips is my guy. Phillips is my guy. I mean, he might tweeted some stuff and blew up Dolphins Twitter one night. But do you remember it reminds me of the Dolphins defense? You ever see that video where the guy does that when he's like, we got this guy, dog.
Dude, that's what I said, dog.
That's the Dolphins. That's the Dolphins defense. Xavier Howard, dog. Jevon Holland, dog. Jalen Phillips, dog. Christian Wilkins, dog. I mean, you could even say Melvin Ingram, Emmanuel Ogbah, dogs. Like, come on, Byron Jones, dog.
Dude, we're loaded.
Hey,
no ignominy,
dog. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Jones, dog. Like,
bro,
Jerome Baker.
Our defense is what really makes me think that we have a chance in the AFC. Now, look, bro, everyone wants to talk about offense. That's fair. Like, yes, we have Tyreek Hill, but we're going to be a run-first offense. I really think we're going to try to control the clock and play through our defense and win those grind-out games. I would love the Dolphins to go out there and score 30 points. I think that's what everyone's anticipating. I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening. Happy about that? You know what I'm saying?
I think Tyreek wants to win. His contract's so big, his guaranteed money is so big that I can't see him crying about anything. He's the highest paid player in the league.
I'm worried. I'm worried how he's going to react if he's not getting the ball. I really am.
I don't know. Who has a bigger impact on the defense this year, Jalen Phillips or Jevon Holland?
I was asked this, so I went with a different thing. I think Jevon Holland is going to be an all-pro player, but I believe that pass rusher is a more premium position in the NFL. So I think pass rushers impact the game more than a safety does. So I think Jevon Holland will impact the game, but
it depends. I mean, it depends on the safety.
I guess, but you have to think like safeties in the NFL. I know I'm not trying to be annoying, but look at Madden ratings, for example.
Right.
Like I think like the highest rated safeties in 92. Like safeties are good in the NFL. It's just not the same as a pass rusher. Like if you have an elite pass rusher, you change the entire game. When you have one, don't drop him back into coverage.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that was crazy
when he's out there wreaking havoc, don't put him in coverage. That's not why we drafted him over Najee Harris.
He didn't even play a lot of snaps last year either. When I wrote that article about him last year, I think
the first 3-4 games he barely played.
Yeah, I think he only played like 50% of the snaps, and he had more sacks than like Chase Young did when he won Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and stuff like that. Like, dude, he's a dog. I think he's just been incredible. I say this all the time in our group chat. He was the number 1 recruit in the nation. A lot of people forget this. He was the number 1 recruit in the nation in that draft class. He went to college, was a dog, got hit by a car. If he didn't get hit by a car, that would have changed everything. Like, he had that
hit
scooter.
by a car?
Yeah, he was on a scooter and got hit by a car, I think, right? And he broke his wrist and got a concussion when he was at UCLA. And that's what really set him back injury-wise. Like, that really pushed him back. Still was a first-round pick. He was a dog at Miami. Still was a first-round pick. I mean, dude, he is so talented. He is 6'6", 265 pounds. And did you see that picture of him flexing? Dude, He is a monster. So it's a tough question because I don't want people to think I'm hating on Holland because I love Holland. But I really do think Jalen Phillips is going to have 15-plus sacks. Like, I think he's going to be that big of an impact player. I think he's going to be a monster. And I think what's good is now that they added Ingram with Agba and him, they're going to rotate those guys in and out. They're going to be fresh as hell, man. They're going to have 3 pass rushers who can get after the quarterback, and letting him get a blow like that and letting him, even if they take him out for a series and then put him in on 3rd down to pass rush, come on, man. I'm pretty excited. He's got a motor.
Bro, our defense is deep. Our defense is deep.
So cool. I'm so excited, man. The defense is a lot of fun. That's why the whole Tua thing, I'm not even trying to be that guy. Like, if Tua can be just somewhat better, they can win so many games.
So many games.
That's
what I'm saying.
Really can.
Bro, if Tua throws like 28 to 30 touchdowns, that means this team is set, bro. I truly believe that. I really do. At least for this year. I love
that question. You gonna read that?
Yeah, delusional Patriots fan.
You gotta read it. That's just like teed up for me. This is definitely a troll. This is.
I was gonna serve this one up on a platter for you.
This is definitely whoever this is
delusional Patriots fan whose profile picture is Tua with Armstead throwing the football and it's 30 yards short to Tyreek Hill. So maybe you're a delusional Patriots fan that's obsessed with the Dolphins, but here's your question. Was there any news of Tua working with a throwing coach or guru?
You want me to answer that? You want me to? You sure you want
I think that question's directed towards you.
I do think as well. Whoever that is not actually a Patriots fan. They're just trying to stir the pot a little here.
Like changed his name or something?
Yeah, I think they changed their name. They're trying to stir the pot here a little. But delusional Patriots fan, I will answer that. No, Tua did not work with a quarterback coach or quarterback guru. He worked with his trainer, his physical, what do you call that? Personal trainer, whatever,
Physical trainer, personal trainer.
His off-season trainer decided to train him and be his quarterback coach this off-season. And what the picture, I don't know. You're definitely a Dolphins fan. But what he did was he had his trainer train him, and so he's been learning to throw the football. He did play quarterback in high school, so there's that. I heard him do an interview. He did state that the great quarterback gurus didn't just become great quarterback gurus. They learned. So he's been watching YouTube videos and picking the brain of Tua's dad to make sure that he's ready to go. And by the sounds of it, not the best plan this offseason. It's not working the way it should have. So that's a roundabout way. I could give more information, but we'll stick with that. There was a cool video though where he was throwing some like medicine balls and stuff, and he threw like a 60-yard bomb on a soccer field, and then he added 20 yards to his throw. He actually throws the ball 108 yards now, I believe. So
that's good.
Yeah, there's your answer.
Did
Mac Jones really work with Tom House? Is that what he said? That would piss me off. Is that true?
I don't know. You'd have to look that up.
Yeah. If Mac,
but
Patriots fan, put a link in there. If you actually have a link that Mac worked with Tom House, please send that in here. Because if that's true, I'm gonna be so pissed.
We talked about depth earlier, and I believe we have a lot of it on the defensive side of the ball. Dieter went down today, and this is my biggest fear, is our depth at offensive line is terrible. And I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but if you look at Teron Armstead's career, he's never had one full season. So it's inevitable that he will miss time. And I don't want to sit here and be negative Nancy or Debbie Downer. I want to be smoke is giving you the smoke. Like, I'm being completely honest and real with you. If I told you that something happens every single year and you tell me it's not going to happen, you're an idiot. This happens every single year. He misses time. How worried are you about the depth of the offensive line? God forbid one of these guys go down. I mean, we're one injury away from having to pick up Jesse Davis's twin brother off the side of the road.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned. I think that is a fair thing. I hate that part of Dolphins Twitter where people say like players aren't injury prone and all this stuff. Sometimes it's okay just to admit someone's injury prone. Like Armstead is injury prone. It sucks. He's still elite. I'm not knocking him.
100%.
It's not like Armstead's going out there trying to get injured. Like I hate that whole like notion that, oh, no one's injury prone. Give me a break. I'm worried. If Armstead goes down, I am worried because one, who are they going to put at left tackle? And if their plan is to move right tackle Austin Jackson back to left tackle, then you have to move someone to right tackle, which will likely be Liam Eichenberg, who's been repping at left guard. If you put left guard Liam Eichenberg at right tackle, now you need a left guard. And who are you going to put at left guard? Solomon Kinley, who we all kind of liked, but I mean, where's he been? Like there's just so many holes then, and it scares me. I mean, they did trade for Greg Little. He's still there, I think, right? Is Greg Little still on the squad?
I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, man. That would be the season if he goes down for like 4 or 5 games. I would worry every game that they don't have a chance to win because of that. He's that important in my eyes. Like Armstead he's the key to the offensive line right now. He really 100%. Is. And I just think even him being out there, like that leadership aspect, I mean, I could imagine, you heard Tua, he's not going to be the guy in the huddle talking up to everyone.
That pissed me off. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, you heard Tua. He's not going to lead.
Pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
That pisses me off.
Hey,
that's the one thing where I have to stand up and say, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not the guy that's going to be vocal. You're the quarterback, bro.
Let him lead his way.
Leading by your actions. At least from what I've seen, your actions are not good enough for you to lead by example. I'm not in the locker room. I could be wrong. Maybe, he's a great guy, whatever. He might be. He might be. But the actions I've seen on the football field, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 9 fumbles, that's not leading by example to me. Yeah. Like, that is not straight. And one thing, it's like, okay, like Flores doesn't like you. You might feel uncomfortable to speak up. But now you got your guy. You got the team. Tyreek's calling you the greatest, most accurate quarterback in the league. You need to be a leader, bro. You need to be vocal. Yeah. Like, you can't just sit here and be, I'm going to lead. I'm going to let my actions do the talking when you're on the hot seat, bro.
Yep.
Your actions have got you to the hot seat.
It's crazy. I think what scares me too is I interviewed Thomas Morstead on the latest issue of Dolphin Digest. Shameless plug there, but he said to me, I asked him about Tua, what's it like being Tua's teammate, and he said right away, he's like, I really hope he steps into a leadership role, and I was like, damn, like you hope he steps into one. You're not there saying this guy's the leader already, and that's what scares me is like. That's where it always goes back to, and I will harp on this the whole year. If Tua struggles again, I will 100%. I'm going to be making excuses for Tua, which is funny. It's the people around him, man. He thinks what he's doing is right. The way he leads is not how you lead. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, it's 2022. Be nice to everyone. Give me a break, man. Oh, VBS. No, see, VBS and I aren't the same person. Thank you, VBS. Thank you.
There you go.
There we go. I'm cleared. But I hate the whole, let him lead the way he wants to lead. Give me a break, man. You're a quarterback in the NFL. And exactly what I just said. When they're in the huddle, he's just going to sit there with his head down, like not saying a word. Like last drive of the game, he's not going to be like, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? Right. Come on, man. You're kidding me.
We had that one clip last year where he was getting upset with the offensive line, and I was like, I loved it. I was like, bro, you look like a leader. Like, you look like a quarterback. Like, we need that, bro.
Yeah.
If we don't have that this year, that's a bigger problem than anything.
He did say this too. He mentioned one of him and Flores' like issues was that, Flores wanted him to be a certain type of leader. And he said, Mike McDaniel lets me lead the way I want to lead. I hate that. Flores might have sucked in so many ways, but he at least was like a hard ass in a sense where he tried to be like that stereotypical football guy. You know what I mean? Like, You're the quarterback. Get in front of everyone, stand up, stop being a big baby, and let's go. And I don't know. I hated that. Hearing that made me cringe. Like, he wants to lead by example. And like you said, it's not like he's going out there slinging the ball around the field. Like, it's a shame. That's a shame. So that's why Armstead needs to be out there. They need a leader. Out there. Tyreek's obviously going to be one, but they need a leader on the offensive line. And Tua could be a guy that could help lead the offensive line as well, but he's not going to do it. There you go, Dolphins fans. He is not going to be some rah-rah leader because you want him to be. He's going to be who he is. So,
Well, I really hope he makes that jump because, like I said, I think the best thing for the Dolphins is for him to be great, and I'm rooting for him this year.
oh, dude, I said this to
And,
VBS.
like,
I'm interrupting you again. I'm so sorry, but I need this
it's
to be
all right.
said. I need this to be said. I think hearing all this stuff about Tua, I think what we need to do is give him time to work with McDaniel right now. Give him a few more weeks before we're like, shit, it's over. But in a few weeks, if it's not clicking and working, man, at some point we need to just accept that like he's not going to just magically make a jump. He is who he is. Keep going. I'm so sorry.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
You're talking about that, just like you wanted to make the jump.
Right. Okay. Right. So I want nothing but the best for him. Like, I want him to be the franchise quarterback. I want him to go out there and throw 33 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and have a stellar freaking season. That's the best thing for the Miami Dolphins. And I don't appreciate when our fans, like, they come at you for being objective. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say what I've seen from Tua so far has been great, because it hasn't. You have 27 all total touchdowns and you have 15 interceptions and you fumbled the ball 9 times last year. Like, when you're comparing that to a guy like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, he's on, like, who knows what's going to happen with him. But these are the guys that we were supposed to tank for the first pick. Didn't happen. We had the chance for Herbert. Didn't happen. Then we had the chance, Tom Brady. We left him at the marina on the yacht. And then Deshaun Watson, we take all the heat for him and let it go. And it's just like what? Like, it hasn't been enough. And when you have to be fair, you have to be objective. You can't just, and there's a lot of things that I agree with. Like, Tua had a terrible offensive line, but Herbert had the 32nd ranked offensive line, won Rookie of the Year. Brian Flores hated Tua. That relationship was toxic, 100%. I'll give him that. Like, there's a lot of things that have not gone Tua's way, but even when they have, like, and my biggest thing is him in the must-win games, like the Tennessee game. You cannot have that. Like, I can't go onto Twitter and see people blaming that we didn't run the ball enough or that our punter didn't play good enough. No, you got to hold your quarterback accountable. Like, all those things could be true, but don't sit here and act like Tua wasn't a reason why we looked like shit.
Yep.
Then the Buffalo game, must-win game. They played their starters for the first half and had 56. Like, they destroyed us. And then you go back 2 years ago. We had to send Fitzpatrick in for the face mask rip, jam, whatever, to freaking save our playoff hopes. I need him to step up in those big moments. Need him in the big moments, bro.
I don't know if he's gonna, but again, hopefully, I hate that whole thing when you're objective into it. You hope he fails. That is not true at all. Like, we've said this a million times.
To be fair, you like the smoke. You like the smoke on Twitter.
Well, I would love it the other way though, too. Like,
right.
Like, dude, it will be. I mean, people, they're like, "Oh, clickbait clump." Even Tua says clickbait clump. If you think about it,
about
if
Tua
how much
50 touchdowns, your shit would be popping even more.
Oh my God. Think about the interactions I will get all season if Tua is the MVP. I literally, there's a tweet floating around where I said, my wife, I told her about it. She said, no shot Tua's fucking doing that. But I said, if Tua wins MVP, I'll get his face tattooed on my leg and I'll let Sorty tattoo fins or die under it. I really will. I will fly out to Miami. I will do it for the Super Bowl parade. I 100% stand by that. I don't care. But again, if he's great, it'll be even better for me, honestly. Like, if Tua stinks, it's going to be toxic. People are going to hate me even more because they're going to think I'm just this asshole. But if he's great, I love it. That would be so much fun.
Right.
And it's more fun to cover a team that's winning. I hate that whole, like, oh, you hope Tua fails. No, I hope every issue of the Dolphin Digest was like the end of the season last year, where it was so much fun covering the team, and you're like, they're going to make the playoffs.
Dude, there was nothing better than that win streak.
It's so much fun.
There was nothing better than that win streak.
The spaces we had were, dude,
oh my God.
Bro,
do you remember when which team did we beat? Was it the Patriots? I think it was the last game of the year, and I get on your space, and I'm like, Clump, I'll go to the 50-yard line right now, and I'll light myself on fire as a sacrifice for this team to win a fucking playoff game. That's how I feel, bro. And, like, there is nothing better than when the Dolphins are winning.
You were
And then
yelling
this
at
is the
me.
last question because I know you got to run. All right. So if Tua puts up Herbert-like numbers, I mean, my God, could you imagine that? With a 9-8 record, short of making the playoffs, do you keep him?
Yeah,
I'll let you start.
100%. What? If Tua throws for 5,000 yards and almost 40 touchdowns, he's a franchise quarterback for sure. Like,
Right.
that's an easy 100%. Dude, Tua would be the guy. Like, we would all be jumping around having fun. And then we'd say, you know what? Now we have 2 first-round picks next year. Let's
To
build
do whatever.
around Tua like they want to build
Right.
around Justin Herbert. You know how awesome that would be? Imagine they go out and get 2 offensive linemen, or they go out and get I like our running backs, but imagine they get an elite running back. You know what I'm saying? Come on, that's easy. That would be
My
incredible.
answer to that is yes, you keep him, because when you look at the Chargers, you don't go, oh, Justin Herbert is their problem. Like,
Yeah.
he's their question mark. And that's why it pisses me off when people are like, oh, has Justin Herbert won a playoff game? Oh, has Justin Herbert's team done this, done that, da, 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 da. His defense is horrendous, or was horrendous. His offensive line was bad. But aside from that, when you watch the Chargers and you watch Justin Herbert play, you don't go, wow, this quarterback kid, this Herbert kid, is he going to be any good? Like, does this kid have the arm talent to be a professional quarterback? Does he have the ability to extend plays with his legs and launch the ball 70 yards down the field? You don't watch the Chargers and go, yo, Justin Herbert, he might not be worth that 6th overall pick. It's not the same with Tua. And I get it. Tua had Flores, bad offensive line. Mac Hollins was wide receiver too. I get it. But you watch the Dolphins and you don't go, yo, like, what's holding the Dolphins back from the playoffs is not Tua. Like, it's everyone else. No, like, people that aren't diehard Dolphins are like, bro, it's Tua. Like it's Tua.
Yeah.
And, like, to be fair, the offensive line was really bad. I don't think any quarterback could have won a playoff game with that offensive line. Just like the Chargers. Like, they coached their way out of the playoffs. But Justin Herbert was not the reason why that team was not going to the playoffs. So if Tua's going out there looking like Justin Herbert number-wise, by all means, you keep him, we build around him, and we go win a Super Bowl. But if Tua's putting up Herbert-like numbers, this team is going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure. If Tua's throwing for 5,000 yards, this team's going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They got it. I mean, the defense would be so good, too. Think about how, I just wish.
Defense has to start good, though. They have to start good. They can't do what they did last year.
Yeah, I know.
Because
That
we
worries
hold
me
Tua
too.
accountable, we have to hold everyone accountable. That defense was dog shit the first 5 weeks.
I know, and I still was told and believe that was not Brian Flores at the start of the year. So that's what scares me, is that he took over at the end when they were great. So that's worth always monitoring. You know, the defense, we all think, oh, it's going to be so great. They're going to dominate. They did lose their number one guy. We all get excited that Tua's got his coach, but as much as you can hate on Brian Flores, that guy could coach defense, whatever you want to say.
Yep.
He really, really could scheme it up. He could game plan it up. The guy might suck on offense, but one of the best defensive coaches out there. So I hope that the defense does not take a step back, because then we'll need 2 steps forward from Tua instead of 1. And I ain't counting on 2 steps. I could barely think he's even going to get 1.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Oh, man.
All right, give me based off what you've heard so far, obviously, don't take this too serious. It's only been 2 days. Has your expectation for the Dolphins changed? What's the final record? Are we making the playoffs? And then we'll end the show with that.
That's unfair, but yeah, so my expectations.
It's really early. You've received 2 days worth of information.
Yeah.
Has that changed your expectation?
It definitely has, but like I said, I don't want to, this is not a concrete answer. Like I said, give Tua more time. Right. But based off of the information I have right now, knowing, again, anyone that's going to attack me, I'm saying to you, this is not my concrete answer. I'm just saying it based off of what I know. My expectations have dropped quite a bit, and it's pretty scary. I have dropped quite a bit, and I don't think that the Dolphins make the playoffs at this point right now. I don't. If it's going to go how it is, and they can't push the ball down the field, they're just not going to – they're going to be going against too many good quarterbacks to – try to just run the ball and win. They're gonna need a quarterback in shootouts, and I don't think it's gonna be good. That's just my 2 days. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it gels and it gets going. But I mean, if the wind in the summer in Florida right now is an issue, like you said, there's some games in some bad places, so I'm worried. And I'm just worried too. We've talked about it on the show, I believe. The start of the season is the biggest part for me, man. And what scares
First four
me,
games.
what
First
scares
four
me
games.
is if they're not, and this is not an excuse for Tua and Mike McDaniel, but it's the reality. What if they're not gelling yet, man? They need time to grow. The Dolphins don't have the time to do that this year. They just don't. They need to hit the ground running week 1. They really do. I know, dude, it sucks. You know it, though.
John Ruiz. My heart attacks don't start until September 11th.
They got to hit the ground running.
That's when my heart attacks start starting, unless it's the off season, and then I yell at Chris Greer, and then he watches my video and he gets Tyreek Hill the next day. You guys are welcome for that, by the way.
Oh, I actually heard from sources that he really did watch the video, and that they walked in his office and they showed it to him, and he said, "Call KC, let's go." You know what? I'm sick of this shit. He's right. He's right.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
His brother actually said it to him, the other GM of the hockey team. He was like, "Stop being a pussy and go get him."
All right, here's my last thing. We'll close out. If this team finds a way to be bad, because I think that's what we would have to do. This team would have to go out of its way to be bad. Dude, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. If this team cannot make a playoff game, I'm not even asking you to win. We haven't done it in 20. I just want you to make it. Make it. Dude, I don't want to even put that in the universe. You know what? It was a great show. I'm not even gonna elaborate.
You're
on
ending
that.
it all negative.
We're making the playoffs. If Tua's good, we're going.
Tua's gonna have Justin Herbert type numbers. Dolphins gonna win the Super Bowl. It is.
Thank you. Everyone blew up the chat today. Outstanding. Thank you guys so much. Means so much to me to have you guys in here. It was an amazing, fired up Friday, and we'll see you guys on Monday at 5 p.m. Clump, thank you as always. Stay blessed. Keep going at all the Twitter trolls. And I'd love to have you back on, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me on, and I will see you the next time, and I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. So have a great weekend, everyone. Fins up.
Yes, sir.